Dave, I suppose, can you just give us your overall assessment of what's happened tonight?
Well, listen, disappointed, embarrassed, by nowhere near good enough and nowhere near what my expectations are, and like I say, we're on the back of a really, really disappointing scoreline. The scoreline is one thing, the manner of, especially as a defender, the manner of the goals for me is another thing, and the lack of real leadership and drive on the pitch in terms of you're playing against a good team. You want to start well. I thought we were second for the first 20 minutes to all the first balls, all the second balls. We lose 2 goals through our poor play. All the goals, you look at them, the manner of the goals. If we've been ripped to pieces, maybe you can't accept it, but maybe you look and go, yeah, they're a good side and they've produced really good moves to get goals. Them goals are absolutely kamikaze from our perspective, and that's not a worry, but we have to be miles better than that.
How much do you think Odyssey going off affected the game, or did you already, or was it that point where you already still disappointed with what you're saying?
You're 2-0 down, so listen, does it affect it? Of course it affects it, because we then have to move a right midfielder to right back. We knew that was always going to potentially be the case, which is why we looked at stuff through pre-season. So it's not ideal. It certainly doesn't help the situation, but like I said, not the writing was on the wall before that. Our start to the game was nowhere near good enough. You've got to recognise in any game of football, you've got to do the honourable bits, you've got to do the nasty bits. We seem to be happy or expect teams to allow us to play, and don't think we have to play forward, and don't think you look at the first goal, yeah, and say ball gets played into Torquay, his touch was horrific, gives the ball away, but they're playing with one up and one off. There's one striker up the middle of the pitch. Our 2 centre halves aren't expecting a mistake. They're just, again, and that's Timmy and Ryan in there. The second goal, I'm not too sure how that comes about. The third goal is an absolute car crash from our throw-in, and you get goals away like that. Look at the goals we've had to score. I can't remember in any games this season being gifted the goals like we've gifted them today, and that's not taken away from them. They're a good side, deservedly at the top of the table. But if they're going to beat us, we've got to make them work harder for them goals.
Obviously, you made the change to bring Bloomfield on for Shelton even before half time. You know, what was your thinking behind that we just hadn't really not affected the top of the pitch?
We had 3 men in the middle of the pitch that were nowhere near their 3 men. So when you're potentially match systems, which it was a little bit, you've got to win individual battles. Well, we didn't win any individual battles in the middle of the pitch. So if that's not going to be the case, then you've got to look to potentially get the ball forward and play further away from our goal and play forward to a front 2. Parky's touch was off and he was isolated. So in fairness, when you make the change, Mason comes on and you're getting a foothold in the game, and you're getting not so much back in the game with a couple of half chances, and then we give away the third goal, which is a throw-in in the final third, our final third defensively. And like I said, we speak about throw-ins all the time, the objectives and what we're looking to achieve from there. That's just sloppy beyond belief and puts the game beyond you at 3.
Is this almost a little bit of a reality check for some of the lads in there? Obviously, we've beat Maidenhead 4-0. We've had such a good start of the season, unbeaten, and then obviously we've come here and put this performance in. Does a lot of the lads kind of realise where we are really?
No, I don't think they realise where you are. I know where we're at. I know that we need to be banged at it every single day, game and every single day to have a chance of winning football matches at this level. You can't slip off. I think what it does do, it highlights that when games aren't going to be open games, you need to be able to do the horrible bits, you need to be able to return the ball, you need to compete, you need to win second balls. There's people, whether they're capable of doing it, they've not done it tonight, and that's been, like I say, shown up in a big way, and resulted in an embarrassing scoreline, and one that, if it doesn't open a few eyes and make people realise what they need to do, it should do, because this isn't something that we've not spoken about. We're not by any stretch going, we want to be this play at all costs team, full-backs bombing forward. The clues in the losing the title, yeah, we want them to join in at times, but left defender, central defender, right defender need to defend first and foremost, and as well as doing the other bits. We've not done the bits that maybe in some instances aren't people's strengths. I don't mind, it's not their strengths, there's still plenty to work on. You've still got to do things properly. I think we were lazy in our defending tonight, and lazy mentally in terms of what we did and how we went about things, and that, like I said, that's not acceptable by any stretch.
Can you just give me a little bit of a brief summary of what was said at full time? Obviously, kind of probably what you've said here, but was it kind of the hairdryer treatment?
You probably don't want to need to know what was said. Like I say, I'm not happy. I'm somebody who, again, look at what I'm about. I'll put my name to that team and I'll put my name to them players, but I find it difficult on that performance. I'm somebody who, again, where I'm from in terms of from a footballing perspective, being a leader and being an organiser and willing to get kicked in the head and kicked in the face and probably take a hit and be cut and do everything to win a game, I'd do. Didn't see any of that in there, and you can say that football's changed. We needed some men tonight. I said at half time to them, the score line, regardless of what it is, this football club, these supporters, it says never say bye on the back of the shirts for a reason. I know if they were here tonight, the players would get pelters, and deservedly so. They're very lucky that no one's in this ground tonight, because if I was sat watching, I'd be giving it them, because I'm not happy. All I want them to do is give their all and be prepared to run through walls and get hurt to win a football match. That's what I want them to do, and they've not done that tonight in my opinion. Some people might agree, disagree, but I'm not that bothered. My opinion is that ultimately that dressing room is the one that counts, and we need to be better than that.
Just finally, is there any update or news on Timmy's injury and why he obviously came off in the end?
I think a hamstring, but I don't know how severe, how serious. We'll have to, like I say, we'll have to see how he is. It obviously leaves us short, and we need to look at potentially if we can get people in, or what we need to do to the squad to give us as much help as you can, especially when you look at after the FA Cup game, we realistically got probably 11 games in the next 5.5 weeks, which is, like I say, is a big ask. So tonight hurts. I suppose we have a full week next week, which we were going to work on things anyway, and a full week the week after. Now whether that's getting the necessary bodies in and working with the group we've got to improve, that will absolutely be the case, and I expect to see a massively improved performance, and a performance from a team that's potentially hurting whenever our next game is.
Dave, thanks very much.
Cheers.